Oh, hey, I didn't see you over there. Welcome back to my channel, Chiro PhiloSoulphi Mixtape. And yeah, I'm just over here practicing some breakdancing with my little homie here, doing some head spins. No, but for real though, back in chiropractic school, I used to literally do this in the middle of my study breaks. Just release some stress. And yeah, I'm a b-boy dancer, and he can get down. So yeah, I want to shout out the Olympics this year, 2024 in Paris, because they brought on breaking, and it was a good look for hip hop culture, you know, and b-boy culture. It's like its own thing, and I've been breaking on and off for about 15, 16 years since the end of high school. And yeah, I'm a fan. And it's one of my favorite hobbies. And to see it on the Olympic stage was pretty cool. Um, and yeah, B-Boy Victor took home the bronze medal, represent. Shout out to B-Boy Jeffro from Houston and Victor from Orlando. uh, who got bronze, and yeah, it was cool. They're not gonna be in the 2020. I mean the 2028 Olympics in LA, unfortunately, and I don't know why. Like they brought out Snoop Dogg and everything, but they may be in the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane, Australia, but who knows? We'll see. Um, and yeah, besides that B girl from Australia with the whole kangaroo jack thing going on, besides that, it was pretty cool, man. So shout outs. And yeah, going back to my homie, my little friend here, he helped me tremendously in chiropractic school with learning and practicing other things in school as well, like the orthopedic testing we had to learn, like especially during 2020 when that happened. When I couldn't meet up with friends or whatnot, I would use this guy to do my orthopedic test with, and yeah, it came in handy. Um, and I had to take my entrance exam in 2020 as well. And since we couldn't, do it on campus, we did it virtually, where you could use a partner or use a model. And they let me use this model on my entrance exam in the clinic, and it worked out. So yeah, props to this guy. And I actually put this sticker on his face, to give him some personality. I never gave him a name, but yeah, the sticker is from Urban Body Jewelry, and you can order from online from them, and that's where I get most of my ear gauges from. Um, and yeah, I use them mostly. And Urban Body Jewelry is not a sponsored advertisement on this channel, but if they would like to, holler at me. Um, So yeah, and another funny story is when I first time I got my ears gauged was in my third quarter in chiropractic school, which is at the end of the first year, and I was going through a lot. Like I I had to retake biochemistry that quarter, and yeah, it was a lot to deal with. Still adjusting to being in a professional graduate doctoral program, which was chiropractic school. Um, and, uh, and yeah, so I always wanted to get my ears gauged since undergrad, but I never did. I've had my ears pierced before in high school, but I never got my ears gauged. So I was like, let me do some self care and take care of myself. And so I went out and I went to Madhouse Tattoo and Piercing in Spartanburg, Bowling Springs, South Carolina, where I went to chiropractic school at in Sherman. Yeah, shout out to Perry and his staff there at Madhouse because they took care of me there, and that was actually the last place I got my ears stretched at as well. And I went from like one of the smallest sizes you can get. It was a 3 millimeter 8 gauge, and now I'm at a 8 millimeter 0 gauge. So yeah, if you want to learn about the sizes of earplugs and gauges, you could Google it and they can show you the charts of it if you're into that or looking into getting into that. Shout out to them. And yeah, so today we're gonna talk about chiropractic school, right? So I found this YouTuber by the name of Dr. Anthony Davis, and he is from Shapeshift Wellness, is the name of his practice and his YouTube channel. And he reviewed he made a video about before going to chiropractic school, and this is while he was still a student, I believe, in 2021, and I was also still a student then, and I had seen this video floating around, but I had never watched it. So let's go ahead and review it and see what he's talking about, y'all. All right.
I'm going to share some of the dirty secrets and harsh realities of becoming a chiropractor. I'm in my 9th out of 10 trimesters, which means I'm right about to graduate after 3.5 years. But if you're thinking about becoming a chiropractor, you really need to watch this first. Chiropractic school is not what you think it is. And a chiropractor is probably not what you think they are.
All right, before we start, I just want to state my observation of his ambiance here. You see, you guys, his degree wall in the back there, and he's got a weight exercise area, got his weight bench with free weights set up, and then on the other side here, he got his spine model here with some some candles going, and like it look like some Halloween decoration stuff in the back here. I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know if this was his practice setup before he graduated, or if this was in his apartment or whatever, but it's pretty cool. Right.
People think about chiropractors as just people who crack backs. And even though sometimes in practice, some chiropractors, that's pretty much all they do, that is not what becoming a chiropractor looks like. It absolutely blows my mind how many people go to chiropractic school and they don't know anything about the profession, about the curriculum, what it takes to become a chiropractor, or what it looks like afterwards in terms of salary, income, debt. No.
Debt, yeah. And yo, he's rocking the gauges, represent. All right.
Seriously, guys, there's so much debt. Help me! Okay, so first off, school. It's 3.5 years. It is a doctoral program. At the end, you get your degree and you are a doctor of chiropractic. The reason chiropractors are called doctors is because we have to spend most of that time preparing for our board licensing exams, in which we have to be able to answer all kinds of questions about basic sciences.
Right, and referring back to my first video, fitness training as a virtual chiropractor, about how like almost 90% of our education in chiropractic is geared towards passing our board exams. So they run us to the ringer with the basic sciences. We study the same stuff as medical students, dental students, besides drugs and surgery. It's pretty much on point with that, and yeah, it was gruesome.
Like anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, embryology, histology, pharmacology. If there's an ology, we have to learn it. And then the last...
Yeah, speaking of ologies, in the board exam, I scored the highest on the microbiology part of part 1. And I was just like, wow, okay, that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Half of the education is all the clinical sciences, clinical nutrition, clinical pathology, even infectious diseases. We even have a course for every single organ system in the body. So our board exams are really geared around being able to tell the difference between back pain, for example, that's just normal, kind of your muscles and joints are sore, versus back pain that's caused by cancer or an organ failure or a systemic disease or an infection. We need to know the difference, because if we crack your back and you have multiple myeloma and your spine is being eaten away from the inside, oops, that's not a good look.
Yeah, that's a good point because I do see the point of having to take so much of the basic sciences and learning about all these different uh, diseases and pathologies because it all goes back to once you start seeing patients and you have to take their case history, you have to recognize what these conditions and diseases are, even if you're not gonna be treating them, so that you can uh, refer them out uh, to the specialists that they may need before they actually see you as a chiropractor. So he's making good points there, but at the same time, I feel like how difficult they make the board exams. It doesn't have to be that. Um, they just go overboard, is what I'm trying to say. Okay.
I'm really being dramatic. My point is we need to know the difference. So if you think you're just coming to chiropractic school to learn how to crack backs, you're going to be in for a huge surprise and a very rude awakening when you get here. And you are going to be one of the students who's complaining every single day after every single class after every single test because you don't want to learn about biochemistry because it's too hard and it's not.
Yeah, biochem. Like I said, I had to retake biochemistry third quarter. Yeah, and our biochemistry professor at Sherman College, Dr. Zoe, love you to death, but yeah, her class was hard. And it wasn't necessarily that it was hard, it was that it was just a different way of the way she taught it to us to get us prepared for boards on purpose. So yeah, I get it, but yeah, and we had 3 classes with her: biochemistry 1, biochemistry 2, and nutrition. And like I said before, we take more nutrition hours than medical students do. So there you go. And yeah, it was a lot of complaining.
Not relevant. Hey, should have done your homework before coming to chiropractic school. All right, next up, let's talk about the great schism of chiropractic school. Well, there is a divide there are 2 camps in the chiropractic profession that I don't think people are aware of. On one hand, we have the old timers who are indoctrinating some new students into their cult of old school philosophy chiropractic. Now, these are the typical chiropractors who you go in, you get your back cracked, you sign up for a really long-term care plan, like 36 visits, fixations, and they talk about like innate vital life forces and these kinds of things. That is a very small percentage of the profession. However, since they're the old school guys, they have a very loud voice. In fact, they're the reason that when sometimes people call chiropractors are quacks. However, the way that we're
All right, let's stop there now. I ain't gonna let him call all philosophy-based chiropractors quacks now. He tripping already. See, okay, so yeah, there is 2 different sects of chiropractors, and so you have the more philosophy-based chiropractors that focus on the more vitalistic approach of innate intelligence, and you have the mixer chiropractors. So we call the philosophy-based chiropractors straight chiropractors, or they used to, and the more integrative docs were called mixers, right? And so you have certain schools of thought that focus more on the integrative approach, and you have the philosophy-based. Now, I think the philosophy-based chiropractors is important to the profession because that's why they upheld the philosophy to today, is to keep us as a separate and distinct profession from any other healthcare professional, whether it be medical doctors, physical therapists, physiatrists, personal trainers, osteopaths, whoever. And so when he said subluxations and finger quotes, in air quotes, subluxation is short for vertebral subluxation that we use in chiropractic. That explains the root cause of your dis-ease to your nervous system, which could be a misalignment, which could involve the 3 T's, which are the thoughts, trauma, and toxins. And the vertebral subluxation is what identifies us as chiropractors, shall I say, versus, like I said, everybody else. So once we lose that philosophy, we lose our identity. Does that make sense? And so, yeah, let's continue.
Actually taught in school is not that way. We are taught to take a proper history, do a proper exam, come to a proper diagnosis, and treat the condition that's in front of us. So if you come in and your back pain is caused by diabetes, I'm not going to crack your back because it's not relevant. You need to fix your pancreas. And that's not something I can help you with. Now, the other thing that chiropractors do that's a little quacky is that we get obsessed about alignment, and we say that your hips are off, or that your pelvis is unlevel, or that your feet or your legs are too long, that the curvature of your spine is all wrong, that your scapula are winging, that your shoulders are forward and you have upper crossed. And frankly, none of these things are really supported by current evidence-based guidelines. So yeah, we learn those things in chiropractic school, and frankly, they're not really true. But guess who else learns them? Every other musculoskeletal practitioner in the world. So physical therapists learn it, osteopaths learn it, physiatrists learn it, medical doctors learn it, personal trainers even, freaking yoga teachers learn it. So this is not really a profession-specific problem. This is a widespread problem in musculoskeletal health. My point is that if you think you're going to escape all the bullshit, the dogma, the pseudoscience by not going to chiropractic school, because physical therapy school is this beacon of hope where everything is perfectly evidence-based. Or medical school, that's the answer. Everything is totally evidence-based there. Sorry, bud, every profession has problems. That said...
Yeah, that's a great point, because I don't think enough healthcare professionals shed light on that, of like all these other healthcare professionals in industries have their own problems as well. Like, I feel like you're never gonna find a perfect situation as far as what type of career profession you want to work in. You know, they all have their own problems. And I think he made a good point. So I give him props on that, because like, you could have a student in chiropractic school that is tired of it and wants to leave and would rather do dental school, and they get there and face issues there as well, because, you know, you're not going to run away from these things. That's just reality, right? So that was a good point.